Well, considering the album's title, it's no wonder it's so bright. Welcome back to Y.E.S, everyone. Today we're talking about Rise and Shine, the third studio album released by Cassadee Pope. And before I go any further, if you go back and watch my last review, I mistakenly said that she was part of the band a-ha. I meant Hey Monday, but for some reason the word a-ha came out. Just wanted to clarify that real quick. Anyway, this singer is quite a shocker for me personally. I liked her album Stages that was released last year, and I didn't think we were going to get an album so quickly all of a sudden, albeit this album is not very long. It's actually only 8 tracks, which is, I guess, probably one of the minimum requirements for an album like this. It's probably more of the length, but for me, the number of tracks also matters. But regardless, I first listened to this album while preparing some dinner and had it on in the background, and I remember just pleasantly enjoying it. And then when the time came to actually pay attention, like zooming in, paying attention, I was floored by a majority of the elements that were taken into account in this album. Now, this is not quite a meticulously crafted album. A lot of the songs in here are what you would call simply acoustic, but that alone, just combined with her vocal delivery, is superb. Going back to her last album, Stages, I've actually re-listened to a lot of the songs on that album, much more than I thought that I would, considering the recommendation I gave it. I really did like that album a lot. It's just there were enough things that didn't give me the highest recommendation praise, but at the same time, it's like you could nitpick that, and I'm sure other people love that album probably even more than I did. And right here, because this album is so short, it's a little risky to be able to figure out how much good you can package in there, but also how many things can you spot that maybe are going to hinder it. And in a way, I got a little bit of both of those things, so I have a lot to highlight, and then just a couple of things that I was like, alright, but thankfully I don't need to talk about that a lot, so let's delve into these positives first. The first song I'd like to highlight is the second track, which is called Hoodie. You should know that I found your hoodie. This is one of those songs where you may have a situation where you are going to potentially meet up with your ex again. Not to get together or hook up or anything like that, but because there is a missing item or you have to get closure or something in that realm. And it kind of just goes through the motion of what those feelings might be like. And I kind of just related to that. I mean, everybody who's had a breakup might have a little bit of a connection with this kind of situation that could be awkward or not. Maybe. You decide. The third track, California Dreamin', I had a great time listening to this. And this is one of the songs where the songwriting really got me reeled in. There's a line in here that talks about the cracks of my heart keep putting you back in. Yeah, if you don't have something repaired down in over here, maybe you let something in that you know that maybe you shouldn't because you haven't tried to repair it or you haven't had at least the time to recover from heartache, heartbreak, heart fractures, other words like that. And then the last song I'd really love to highlight is called Sandpaper. Aside from this song just being clever and beautiful on its own, I love the chorus and kind of the vocal progression as the notes rise up in certain occasions. It was just like I don't get to hear that very often. I feel like I would hear that in maybe instrumental music on certain clever, whimsical moments, but I loved hearing it in the chorus, in the vocals on this song. I love how it kind of just talks about how people can sometimes be an open book, but that doesn't mean that people are going to necessarily read you. Check out the lyrics in that. Just listen to the song and the album. And as I had mentioned before, I had a couple of negatives. I feel like I could have easily gotten carried away because I just loved the vocal deliveries from this album so much. But alas, I did tame myself ever so slightly. I actually listened to a few of the songs where I was just like, actually, I don't know how I really feel about that song. So I gave a few songs a couple of extra listens just to make sure what I was thinking. There are at least 2 songs in here where I feel like the arrangement or at least the instrumentation felt slightly above generic. I wouldn't call it generic, but it's just like it could have had a little something extra. And that in turn also hinders some of the creativity elements, but probably just for those songs. Most of the songs in here are just like, albeit simple, they worked just as they needed to be. And then the only kind of strange thing as a, I guess, negative I have to mention is the last song, Build This House. Now, I don't dislike this song at all. It's just that there's a part in this song where her vocal delivery kind of sounded like Avril Lavigne, and that is in no way meant to be a diss or a negative. It just was distracting. That's really all it was, because her own vocals are so gorgeous on their own that thinking that it was another artist covering her vocals just kind of felt, wait, that was odd. And yeah, that could have been me. I don't know, but I did re-listen to that song and I was like, wait, who does that remind me of? Oh, I think it's Avril Lavigne. It could be someone different for you. I'm not sure. But beyond that, I think this album, albeit very small, I think it actually wraps it up really good, gives you a good punch of love of country music, and I'm happy to say that I would definitely re-listen to this album many times over. So, after having listened and reviewed this album, I'm going to give production an A. I'm going to give creativity a B+. I'm going to give expression and lyrics a B. And how would I recommend this album? I would give it a yeah. Now, probably based on that praise that I was giving it earlier, maybe you would think that a few of those grades would be a little bit higher. But remember, this is a shorter album. Things in my grading process work a little to the disadvantage the shorter an album is. But, hey, if you pull it off, you still get my recommendations. So, congratulations, Cassadee. Not that you need it from me. You're amazing and wonderful. So, thank you for bringing this music to me, and I'm telling you to go check it out. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow me in my social media links down in the description below, and be sure to leave a like for the video as well as a comment down below if you want to engage with me. And if you want to discover, promote, and review the best in entertainment, be sure to subscribe to this channel so you can get that yes in your life. See you next time.